Good morning. I woke up super excited now that Pluto has moved into Aquarius. And I know that may sound really contradictory considering the doom scrolling you've done or seen about Pluto, but I think there are some very important things to know. First, let's put some things in context. Pluto has moved into 0 degrees Aquarius. Why that's significant is because it will echo what you may have experienced or what you were dealing with on some level around December of 2020 when Jupiter and Saturn conjoined in Aquarius. So it's more like an echo and like the singing bowl I have here. And just when you strike it, right, it makes a sound and then it carries through the room, carries through the energy. So this particular degree of Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius is significant in relation to what you may have experienced before. So it's not something necessarily to fear as much as something to look at, because Pluto, I could call Pluto the closer. And what I mean by that as the closer is that he works on unresolved issues either in your psyche or literally as you're experiencing them in your life, which are actually related. So for instance, I was dealing with in 2020 unresolved issues in my marriage and the closing of my marriage at that time. And it was kind of a good time to kind of purge through, but it also had some physical effects for me. As per some of you who know me, the things I was experiencing at that particular time in terms of a kidney stone passing through. And that was kind of a difficult time, but it was a time of clearing. So it doesn't mean, just to be clear, that Pluto is going to just bring hardship or destruction. As the closer, he is asking you really to think about with more intentionality, what are you doing? Just like what you can think about what you were doing in December 2020. And what do you want to do? And why am I doing it? So it's to really probe more your intentionality, how you're really living, how you want to live. And Pluto is very interested in the truth and how you really surface that. So where Pluto shows up in your chart is where you're dealing with those unresolved issues. So for instance, for me, it was in the 12th house, Aquarius, things that were hidden, that were not seen, unresolved issues in my psyche, unresolved issues in different dimensions of my life. And so it really surfaces that. Like if you're a Leo rising, then Aquarius is in your 7th house. It may surface related to partnerships, your relationship to the public. It might reveal some open enemies, some particular things like that. The other thing I want to share with you that I think is important to understand about Pluto, and I want to thank Gemini Brett for reminding me of this word with Pluto, is sovereignty. So Pluto is also asking us to look at our individual and collective sovereignty. What choices are you making, and why are you making them? And what is your intentionality related to those choices in maintaining, growing, developing your sovereignty? So that becomes really important. And sovereignty, just to be clear, has the root word sovereign, which is rulership. How are you ruling your life? How are you in control of your life? What are you expecting related to your life? So all these things are really important to think about with Pluto rather than be like, he's just going to fuck me up. That doesn't have to be what happens. You can choose.